What is going on, guys? My name is Tubby and if you guys have been paying attention to E3, you may have seen some gameplay, some other things regarding WWE 12. Now, this gameplay is not WWE 12. If you clicked on it for just gameplay, I'm sorry, that stuff is all leaked. I don't have access to that right now. But I'm going to be talking about WWE 12 a little bit more in depth this time. Now, I've went back and pretty much watched every interview that I could find with Corey Ledesma. If you don't know who Corey Ledesma is, he's the WWE, basically the creative director. He's like the Robert Bowling, but of WWE 12. That's what he does, if you know who Robert Bowling is, or JD 2020. That's his job, to interact with the community, you know, to give updates, all that kind of stuff. And everything that I've heard him talk about is pretty much just solely been on the technology and, you know, the move sets, the animations. Nothing really so far about the modes that are going to come out, and nothing really about multiplayer. In the interview that he had with GameSpot, he was talking to him and saying, what's different this year? We pretty much built the game up from scratch. Well, like a lot of people say in some of the videos that I've already put up is, well, the breaking point submission, all this other stuff is just things they're bringing back into the game. And I have to agree with that. Some of the stuff is being brought back in as far as the concept-wise go. But from what I have seen from the gameplay of WWE 12, I think it looks fucking amazing. Now, that's not to say, you know, that it could turn out to be absolute shit. But if you look at this, the camera angle is static. What that means is it's the same camera angle no matter what until you get back into the ring or until you get farther on the other side of the ring. Now, apparently, according to the dynamic presentation thing that I saw for WWE 12, this will no longer happen. Now, I don't know if this happened in 2011. I can't remember off the top of my head. But it's one of the huge improvements where I don't know if I'm looking forward to all the camera shifts. I think that's one thing that'll take a while to get used to. But as far as watching a video on YouTube or watching a match, I think it'll be a lot more fluid. You'll be able to watch it just like you do on TV. Now, from what I saw in the gameplay trailer, I saw a match between Alberto Del Rio and The Miz. You may not have saw that one. You may have just saw the Randy Orton, John Cena footage. If you guys haven't seen that, that footage is in the description below. You guys can go check it out. Somebody recorded it at E3. And it's still demo gameplay. Things can still change. E3 builds are never the final build in a video game. That's something you guys have to be careful of. Usually it's an alpha, maybe a beta build, and it's not always fully there. And from what I've seen, I'm actually pretty excited. You know, I gave this game a hard rap for, you know, the crowd looking like shit. But that's really not the most important thing, and I have to be honest with you, is some of the camera presentations and the lighting effect, which looks amazing in the ring, kind of blurs out the audience anyway, so it really doesn't matter. Now, I know a lot of my fans and a lot of people in the nation want the audience to be, you know, more equipped. Not only do they just want them to look better, they want them to sound better and be more realistic like an actual WWE audience. Now, one thing that somebody had brought up in the Dolph Ziggler-Daniel Bryan match, and I totally forgot about it until he said it, was in the match, people were going, this is awesome, and I was on the top second deck, upper row, and they did, and that's when I was like, it is awesome. But in WWE 12, they just sit there jumping up and down, ooh, they don't ever go, ooh, ah, they don't ever, you know, you don't have that realistic audio feeling. So if they did something like that, I would be pretty impressed. I'm not going to lie to you. Now, this whole match is pretty much on top of the tables because I really wanted to showcase how much I missed going up on tables and not using the bullshit ways that people are telling me, like use tables, break the one, but don't do the other thing. I don't want to have to glitch, or I just want to be able to go up there, you know. But as far, I'm not going to talk about what I want to see WWE 12. I've already done that numerous times. But from what I've seen at E3, this game is looking pretty sick. However, the way he talks about game modes, and I know when games come out at E3, they don't want to spill the information too fast, or else, you know, the excitement, the, oh my god, what's going to happen, kind of dies down if they kind of throw everything out there. So I understand Corey keeping back some of the information. But from what he's talking about, like, the modes people love, you know, the Road to WrestleManias, it just sounds like they're not adding back in a GM mode, they're not adding in anything else. They're going to keep the same matches, you know, with the same roster. And it was kind of funny listening to the interview. It said, you know, we're going to keep the things people love, you know, the Road to WrestleMania, the single player campaign, you know, the full in-depth roster, And I was like, full in depth? What are you talking about? Not only do you have to unlock half the people, the lower end superstars are never on the card. And I understand the game goes a year in advance, but that's something they really have to update. And if they already have Alberto Del Rio in the game for only being in the WWE a year, they're definitely going to have all of the other people. Daniel Bryan was originally scheduled to be in the game last year, but when he got fired, they pulled him from it. For those of you who didn't know, he actually did get fired, and then they brought him back in after the whole Nexus thing. From what you guys have seen from WWE 12, what are you most excited for? I want to know that. And what's the one thing that, out of the footage you've seen so far, that's kind of made you go, I don't know if this is going to be a great game. I want to hear your feedback, guys. As Chris Jericho is just fucking dominating right now. He's going to go ahead and pick up the pin here. 1, 2, 3. My name is Tubby Emu, guys. Leave your feedback. I'll talk to you later in the next match. Peace. Get him, Jericho.